Sadly, you can't win the Tour de France without doping rumors, when much of the conjecture is about whether you have a secret motor in your bike that may progress. Welcome back to Cycling News Live. Well, do you know? Only the 2016 Women's U23 UCI Cyclocross World Championships discovered motor cheating. The UCI has since spent on screening bikes for hidden engines. Let's get into a bit of detail. Remember? The French Prosecutor's office finished a multi-year inquiry into mechanical doping in top races. During the 2021 Tour de France, a Swiss newspaper reported that 3 unnamed riders heard strange noises from racers' rear wheels. According to the reports, the peloton isn't talking about a seat tube-based motor like in 2016, but rather energy recovery systems like the KERS system or electromagnetic propulsion. The thought that somebody creating tiny and light enough technology to be utilized in this way would first use it to aid a cyclist cheat in the Tour de France sounds nonsensical. Conspiracy theories are popular. If you wish to cheat, you should try to hide a motor system in the frame and slip it, past officials. Such systems exist and have non-nefarious uses. We attempted to become race winners from also-rans. Motor doping is occurring and we have confirmed it. On Saturday, January 30, 2016, the cycling world was surprised when U23 cyclist Femke van den Driesch was discovered with a motor hidden in her spare bike. The equipment she utilized was a Vivx assist motor, a technology that has been in development for years and is primarily geared for an older market of riders who want to continue riding normally. Motors may be concealed and give extra power during a race, but gaining an advantage from one is difficult. Bicycles may be propelled in a variety of ways. They might be installed in the hub or the bottom bracket. Hub motors are complex and heavy, making them unsuitable for a carbon hub. There have never been any working or even prototype electromagnetic wheels or hubs discovered or displayed. If concealment is the aim, we're left with an old-school cylindrical engine behind the seat tube. The Vivx Assist motor is a direct descendant of the Gruber Assist motor, which was released in 2008 and increases power by 100 watts. The new Vivx Assist battery is quieter and more compact. The primary battery was previously housed in a large seat bag, but it is now housed in the bottle. The internal battery of the motor can power a bike for 60 minutes. Previously, the power switch was buried under the saddle. Motor doping was a serious worry before Van den Driesch's assault. A section on technical cheating was included in the 2015 CIRC report on cycling doping. Various attempts to avoid the technical requirements include the use of motors in frames, according to one section of the website. This was not discounted as an isolated incident, especially by notable bikers. The UCI has increased the penalty for breaking Article 1.3.010 to 1 million Swiss francs and instituted regular bike checks in the top peloton, hundreds during the Giro d'Italia. Fabian Cancellara was suspected of employing mechanical help in 2010. Michele Buffalino, an Italian journalist, posted a video indicating Cancellara utilized a motor. Ex-pro David Cassani examined Gruber Assist to demonstrate how professionals may utilize it. Commissaries examined Cancellara's bike and determined it lacked a motor and had conflicting specs. Cancellara described the claims as, "so stupid I'm stunned." The Vivx engine would not have fit in the seat tube of the Specialized he was riding. Nonetheless, senior officials in the sport are concerned. UCI takes technical trickery seriously, such as covert electric motors on bicycles. We've been performing controls for years, and while we've never identified fraud, we realize we need to be more vigilant. It is our essential job to be aware, knowing that the technology exists, said Sébastien Guillot, UCI's head of communications. Whether or not the World Tour threat is real, the technology is currently available to all riders, amateurs, and elites alike, which means criteriums and TT races may soon be overrun by electric motors. I'm not sure. Steve Punchard, the UK distributor of Vivx Assist, believes it has already occurred. He stated that the majority of customers purchase the device to keep up with club buddies or spouses. Most of my clients are approaching retirement, he explained. This method is intended for riders who want to keep up with others. The majority of Vivx Drive's customers are above the age of 60. Punchard's suspicions were aroused by one of his customers. They purchased a Vivx Assist with batteries from me, but they didn't ask for installation instructions, so they must have known what to do. Activating the button. Vivx provided cyclists with a Vivx Passion CF for testing, which is a bike frame custom built to suit the motor. However, the unit can be adapted into numerous frames. The bike appeared to be a touch hefty at 9.9 kilograms, but this was to be expected from a bike with an entry-level frame. Otherwise, the frame seems and feels normal. The Vivax CF is built of carbon, but it features a strengthened seat tube to withstand the motor's torsional stress. I wouldn't advocate attaching it to just any carbon frame, since the seat tube needs to be strengthened with Kevlar, Punchard explains. I think that an ordinary carbon frame isn't robust enough as is, but Vivax has successfully fitted it to carbon frames. Punchard believes that any pro who uses one of these motors in the competition will need to rebuild their bikes to suit the force of the motor, as well as account for the fact that it requires at least a 31.6mm seat tube. The motor battery and control unit are contained in the bottle of the Passion CF. The cranks must be turned to engage the motor. Once the cyclist has reached an acceptable cadence, the rider activates the motor by pressing the bar end switch. It does make a whirring noise while riding alone, but it is unlikely to be heard in the buzz of a huge group. The extra 110 watts of power provide a noticeable speed advantage on the road. However, even with the additional 110 watts, cyclists' power production would still be too low to compete with the likes of Chris Froome, who produces 6.2 watts per kilo, compared to our motor-assisted 5.8. However, there are many professional riders who, if they utilize this motor, would be able to out-watt Froome. So it's reasonable that the UCI is concerned, especially given that the weight of the engine could most likely still be accommodated inside the UCI's minimal weight of 6.8 kg. The possibility of motor cheating exists, but after testing the system, we at Cyclist are not sure that it is now an issue in professional road racing. While the engine certainly provided an edge for Vandendriesche, the system was more beneficial to the intensive and erratic efforts of cyclocross. Take a look at her climb of the Koppenberg to get a better understanding of how the motor would have worked. The Vivax Assist performs admirably in its intended role of assisting in the maintenance of a specific cadence and pace, but it is not a high-powered engine capable of propelling you to a steady 50 km. We were faster than intended on a windy 6-kilometer circle, but 30 seconds slower than our best performance. We could have ridden as fast without the engine on a stiffer, lighter bike. Cancellara's moped-like accelerations would be impossible to achieve without moped-like power. The workings of the motor are more complicated than predicted. Rather than increasing power, the motor maintains cadence. If the system is set to 90 RPM, it will maintain that cadence regardless of the rider's power, which means it will stop helping you in a low gear once 90 RPM is exceeded. A gear that is too high may overwork the motor, limiting its power. The challenge is to shift high enough for the motor to operate at maximum capacity with the rider's input. The motor's objective is set by holding the on-off switch for 5 seconds while maintaining a cadence. For racing, this strategy would need regular changes to the cadence, which may be more difficult on a long climb with several assaults than on a shorter off-road cyclocross hill. The bulk of the system. In the top peloton, a bottle battery would not go unnoticed, but a smaller, more covert option may be created. Punchard argues that a smaller, lighter motor is feasible. The system is made comprised of a crank, a freewheel, and a motor. As a result, an 80-watt unit might still have an impact on a race. You'd have enough power for 10 minutes instead of a 6 battery. Vivax asserts that the UCI has not contacted the firm as part of its inquiry into motor doping, although the technology is currently in recreational usage with 1,000 units sold each year, and some might have been changed. Systems like Vivax Assist will become more common, and as the car industry improves lithium batteries and electronic motors, the technology underlying it will certainly advance significantly. We can only hope Femke Vandendriesche is the first and only motor doper. So viewers, that's all for today. Do hit the like button and ask anything about mechanical doping in the comment box. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos. We'll meet you in the next video.